Welcome to the Provider Training module for Community Paramedic Services. In this module, you will learn how to bill for these services using minutes. To provide these services, you must be a Community Paramedic certified by the Minnesota Emergency Medical Services Regulatory Board, be employed by a Minnesota Healthcare Program's Enrolled Ambulance Service, and have a service scope agreement with the Medical Director of the Ambulance Service. Refer to the Minnesota Healthcare Program's Provider Manual if you have more questions about this provider type. Please note, the Medical Director is responsible for billing this service. This video will show an example of a billing scenario for community paramedic services. To begin, log into Minutes. Select Submit DDE Claims 837 from the list in the left navigation. If you do not have this option in your Minutes account, contact your primary Minutes administrator. If you don't know who your primary administrator is, please call the Provider Call Center at 651-431-2700 or 800-366-5411. When billing for community paramedic services, you will use the Professional 837P claim. Select that option in the left navigation. This will open the Professional 837P billing page with your organization's information. Check that the information is correct. You can verify which screen you are on by looking at the Application Progress section at the top of the right navigation. Currently, there is a check mark by Billing Provider. Click the Continue button on this page. The next screen is the Subscribers page. Enter the member's 8-digit MHCP number in the Subscriber ID field and the member's date of birth. In Minutes, the single red asterisk indicates a required field. Next, click the Search button. If the member is in the system, the search will find them using the criteria that was entered. If you receive an error message, re-enter the information and try again. If you are sure you entered the correct information, but you are not getting the results you expected, contact the Provider Call Center. In this example, the member is in the system. Verify it is the correct person and click the Continue button. The next screen is the Claim Information page. At the top is the billing provider, a space that will eventually show the total claim charge amount, the subscriber, and the type of claim. This information is auto-populated by the system. The next section is the claim information. All fields with a single red asterisk are required. Select the appropriate place of service from the drop-down. Place of service defaults to Place of Service 11, Office. In our example, we select Place of Service 12, Home. Next, enter a patient control number. The control number is determined by you, the provider, and will help you identify the member's claim. It can be alpha, numeric, or alphanumeric. The next 4 fields will be auto-populated. However, you will need to change the auto-populated entries if they are incorrect. At the Diagnosis Type Code drop-down, choose ICD-10. Then enter the most appropriate ICD-10 code for the service you provided. In this example, the member received an immunization, so enter the code Z23. Next, click the Add button. This adds the diagnosis code to the table. Repeat this step if there are additional diagnosis codes. Make sure to click the Add button for each code. The next section, Situational Claim Information, is not required except in the case of untimely billing. In that case, you would add the required attachments here. For details on this process, click Electronic Claim Attachments in the right navigation or call the Provider Call Center for assistance. The next section, Situational Ambulance Information, is not required. The final section is Other Providers, where you enter the information for the medical director. Under the provider identifier in the Rendering Provider section, enter the medical director's National Provider Identification Number, also known as NPI, and select Add. Their record will display below in a table. Be sure to click the radio button next to the rendering provider's name. The next section is Pay to Provider. Click on the name to expand this section. Add the clinic, hospital, medical director, or ambulance services NPI number and click the Add button. Again, be sure to click on the radio button next to the Pay to Provider's name. Once everything is entered, you are finished with the claim information screen. Click the Continue button. This will bring you to the Coordination of Benefits page, or COB. If the member has other insurance besides MHCP, enter COB information on this page. We will not be going over COB in this example. If you have questions about COB, refer to the Minutes User Manual or call the Provider Help Desk. Select Continue to open the Claim Services page. Enter Date of Service From and leave Date of Service To blank. The system will auto-populate Date of Service To with the same date. The date of service cannot be a span. The place of service is auto-populated with information entered earlier on the Claim Information screen. Enter T1016 as the procedure code and U3 as the first modifier. Enter the line item charge amount and the number of units that were provided. For example, if you saw the member for an hour, that would be 4 service units because each unit is 15 minutes. If you charge $15 a unit, you enter $60 in the line item charge amount field. Remember, in order to bill a unit, more than half the time, or 8 minutes, must be spent performing the service face-to-face. If you saw the same member more than once in the same month, you can add a service line for each date of service in that month by clicking the Add button on the bottom of the screen. Enter a new date of service from. Enter the T1016 procedure code and the U3 modifier. Finally, enter the line item charge amount and service unit count. You can also use the Copy button to copy all of the information for the member. You will still need to change the date of service from, line item charge, and service unit count as appropriate. Once all the service lines are entered, click the Save View Line button. The entries will appear in a table on a review page. Check the entries and correct any errors by clicking on the Edit button for each line. Once the information is correct, click the Validate button. In the Claim Information section, you are looking for an A1 in the Claim Status category and 0 in the Claim Status. For the Service Lines section, you want an A1 in the Claim Status category and a 20 in the Claim Status. These codes mean that you have filled out all the required fields to submit the claim. If you see different codes, there is a problem with the claim and it is not ready for submission. Refer to the Washington Publishing Company link to identify the error codes or contact the Provider Call Center for assistance. Finally, close the validation screen to return to the review page and click the Submit button. After you click Submit, you will see the codes P13 in the Claim Service category and P120 in the Service Line section. These codes indicate that the claim is in our system and is being processed. Note that a processed claim is not a guarantee of payment. If paid, it will show the amount paid. You will also see a 17-digit payment control number above these fields. Give this number to the Provider Call Center if you need help with this claim. In this example, we have demonstrated the following: how to submit a claim in minutes for community paramedic services. Please refer to the Minutes User Manual if you have questions on how to submit a claim, and for information regarding other applications in minutes. Check the MHCP Provider News and Updates for announcements on changes to programs and information about new learning tutorials when they become available. Thank you.